Why is the government bully citizens daily? The citizens in turn bully one another. I choose to bully the law, bully the Constitution. By virtue of Section 1371E of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of the president if within a period of 10 years before the election he is convicted and under a sentence of an offense involving fraud and dishonesty. Paragraph D goes further to say that such person is under a sentence of fine for any offense involving fraud or dishonesty. In 2007, if you remember, because of the quarrel between then President Obasanjo and his vice Atiku Abubakar, who is the PDP candidate of today, over Atiku's presidential ambition, just like the one between Obaseki and Shaibu Nedu, Obasanjo set up an administrative panel of inquiry that indicted Atiku for embezzlement of the then PTDF funds. Maurice Iwu, then INEC chairman, swiftly disqualified INEC, who was with the current president of the country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then in Action Congress, from contesting the 2007 general election. The party and Atiku approached the court, and the Supreme Court, in considering the entire Section 1371 of the Constitution, held that the disqualification envisaged by that section, since it's against the safeguard of presumption of innocence as enshrined in Section 31 and 5 of the Constitution, that trial and conviction by the court is the only constitutionally permitted way to prove guilt, and therefore an administrative panel of inquiry indictment was not a conviction or sentence as envisaged by the Constitution. That is why, despite Governor Wike's administrative panel of inquiry that indicted Amechi for the monorail, it didn't stop Amechi from becoming a minister. That's the law, so bully the law. If you think that forfeiture of money or property, like in the case of Ekweremadu or Desiani, that had forfeited property despite not being convicted, is still a conviction or sentence by the court, contrary to the provision of the Supreme Court, then I no fit help you, so continue to insult me, I don't mind. On the issue of uploading and transmitting election results electronically by INEC, while this current INEC leadership, just like their counterpart in 2007, were boasting everywhere that they were going to conduct credible election and transmit election results real-time online, they didn't tell you that they inserted Regulation 93 in that their rules that categorically stated that online collation shall only be resorted to where hard copies is not available. And where both hard copies and electronic result does not exist, then copies handed over to police and the polling unit agent shall be used for collation. So you can imagine, just like Hope Uzodima's case, the court could accept result sheet from police provided they were not cancelled by the INEC according to their guidelines. So didn't the political parties see this regulation before the election? So bully your laws. I don't even want to talk about the provisions of Section 135 of the Electoral Act that says elections shall not be invalidated by reasons of non-compliance, provided that the non-compliance is not substantial enough to affect the outcome of the election. So who determines non-substantiality? So please bully your laws. I've been at the presumption of correctness or regularity in favor of INEC by the provisions of the Evidence Act, that once results are announced by INEC, those results are deemed correct. Didn't the political party know all of this before going to bed with INEC? Why using the hope of the people as pillow? Why are the people not bullying the laws? Why this government today is celebrating and calling this court judgment as victory for democracy and requesting every party to obey? How many court judgments has this same government obeyed so far? Attorney General, take note of. Even though I'm not a fan of Emefiele, why would a court grant someone bail and a court celebrating a court judgment, a government celebrating a court judgment today, has refused to obey that same judgment? We can globetrot to look for foreign investors, but I tell you, without obedience to court order and rule of law, no investor will take us serious enough to invest in our country. Investors go to an environment where their investment will be protected by the law, irrespective of who is in government, and are assured that the courts will be swift in dealing with cases, and judgment against government are also obeyed swiftly. A deep thinking also will reveal that a country where government and court realize that justice delayed is justice denied, and citizens are certain that the rule of law will be obeyed by government irrespective of position of power, most people will be willing to quit the stage to give room for young people to come into governance. Otherwise, everybody go want remain for government. For protection of self and business interest against passive enemies, an election will continually be a do or die affair, while the ordinary people continue to bully one another. Remember, in 2014 to 2022, it was APC bully, insulting everybody online that disagrees with Buhari's ineptitude. But today, it is the turn of Labour Party cyber bullies as they threaten and bully dissenters to their belief. So don't worry, someday a new bully will emerge to face these current ones. But as we continue to educate ourselves, refuse to be bullies. I will therefore advocate until we challenge and channel our energies to bully our laws, to change our constitution and electoral laws, to strengthen the local government and place the burden of proving election irregularity and integrity on the umpire INEC instead of the participant who lost the election. Also, we must remove the nomination of electoral umpire like the INEC chairman, national commissioners, and resident electoral commissioners from the hands of the president to the hands of stakeholders as recommended by Waste Panel report. We must also ensure obedience to the rule of law and court orders, irrespective of who is involved, is observed. Otherwise, we can insult one another as we like today. Any new government will come tomorrow will repeat the same process and pattern, as local government election will be strictly selection by government, irrespective of party. So bully your laws, they are all the same. Until we come your way next time, feel free to either agree or disagree with us by leaving a comment on our comment section in any of the platforms showing on your screen. And as we go, remember, crude oil is selling at $19 per barrel. That means the cost of landing of PMS in our port in Lagos will be about 680 to 700 per litre. Yet we are paying between 490 to 550 in Lagos. Since no subsidy, I beg help me ask who they pay the difference. Bully your constitution for the answer. See you next week.